I find comfort in knowing that, like, if my time is sooner rather than later, like, I've traveled almost 50 countries. I've
more than what I've done in longer time on this earth.
I've made best friends.
Right.
I have the cutest dog.
More than a lot of people.
I've succeeded professionally, personally, socially, and my relationship with my family is amazing. So I don't have any regrets. There's nothing I would change. And I think I'm in a place that's hopeful. And I think we have to hold on to hope, even if it's few and far between.
That's right.
That's really like the only thing that gets you through the tough days.
Moves to NYC, makes 6 figs at 23, lands dream job, meets love of life, finds perfect friend group. And we've all seen this, how this
is going awesome in my life, and then me upside
gets incurable cancer.
Down, basically like they kicked my ass. I'm pretty sick, I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like probably 50% of myself every day, just because I've been on continuous treatment for 19 months now, and I don't feel good. It's hard to remember even how it ever felt to feel good.
You can see the pain in her eyes, bro. You wouldn't wish this on your worst enemy. You wouldn't. Nobody would. All right, so cold brew. We got the mini bub. All right, cool. So, yo. So there's this person on Cancer Talk called Casey Altman, and she's really young. And she would have every right to feel like, you know, there's nothing left, there's no meaning, there's only emptiness, a big empty void. Because I know I would, but she's way stronger than I am. Instead, she's actually used her condition as motivation to stay optimistic about the future. And this is her story.
Sure, and you should be too.
I think in the beginning I started it as more of a coping mechanism, and it swelled into this community of people who actually care. Oh, this is cool, somebody drew this from TikTok. And then we have a troll. When trolls come for me, it's usually like, how does it feel to soon be reduced to ashes?
Karma got you, huh? Having cancer isn't a free pass for people to be nice to you. Hello, does it ever cross your mind that very soon you no longer will be participating in this thing we call life, reduced to ashes? That is just inappropriate. That's incredibly inappropriate. I can't even fathom that. As somebody who does relate very closely to this topic, also sorry for not mentioning it earlier, but content warning, obviously, trigger warning. But yeah, this type of hate is just uncalled for.
It's like really weird. You might think, oh, you lose your hair, you're sick, you're nauseous, you're weak, you're enfeebled. It's so much more than that. The experience is dying young, and it's really, really lonely. There's so much I get out of engaging with the community and sharing my experiences and trying to make this experience less isolating for other people going through it.
Let's get in there and see what they can give you to help you feel better, you know. Anti-nausea or fags, edibles, because she's been feeling so sick or nauseous for several days. I don't know. You know, there's a small potential they would want to, and I just want to have everything with us.
My name is Casey Altman. I'm 26 years old, and I say first and foremost, I'm a patient advocate and cancer survivor.
Where are you, baby? Why can't I find you?
Aside from cancer, I'm a lot of things. I am a content
Whose hand was that?
creator. I run a podcast called The Reroute. I'm a writer, and I'm obsessed with life and living more life. And that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
I wish I had her.
So I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer
optimism
a little over a year and a half ago now. Rhabdomyosarcoma, which is a really rare, lethal soft tissue sarcoma. I have a little bit of cancer in my mediastinum, my pleural region along my lung. That's why my lung fills up with fluid. My glute is my primary site. And then I have a flank tumor in my back. And then I have 2 lymph nodes affected. And that's it.
That's it? Broski, you're taking this very, very well, or at least showing us that, you know, you're a really strong woman, and really strong person, and I commend you for that. Wow, that's very inspiring, very inspiring.
That's your battery. So yeah, I have a lot of disease. I'm not stoked with the amount of cancer I have. I might puke. I might puke.
It's okay, honey. Don't worry about it.
How do you even
My life
catch
before
that?
cancer was
you know?
almost.
Do you
almost
just go to
movie-like.
the
I've always
doctor
been this
randomly
really
and get an
fearless,
X-ray?
bold person who traveled the world for a year by herself, pursued Division I volleyball out of high school, and then I was hit with something like this.
I'm gonna be one. I don't know how cold it is. It's probably just lukewarm.
I'll just do it in the car if you do.
Just rest for a minute. Let your
Okay, fine.
I know, but you can let your heart rate go down. We have time, honey. It's fine.
I really didn't have any symptoms leading up to my diagnosis aside from 2 palpable lumps on my body. But they were asymptomatic, they weren't painful, and it was also during the height of the pandemic in October of 2020, so I was avoiding medical institutions like the plague, everybody was. So I didn't want to go in, and over the course of 3 months, I finally did. And by that point, it had spread to stage 4. When the call took place, I actually had one of those like ear ringing, your world kind of slowing in orbit moments where I felt like I was going to pass out. I'd say that was probably the most lonely experience of it all.
I can only imagine,
because
man.
you see all these
I can
people walking
only
by
imagine.
and they're living their lives and they're equally as significant as yours, but your world just stopped. Then I started to adjust and realize, okay, I think I have to integrate this into my life, because the bottom line is it's not going to be one of those chapters that just ends. When I first started posting content, I was able to make a blanket statement to say, hey, if you want to be there for me, you can be there for me. The door's open and I invite you in. And I figured Instagram's a perfect forum because I'm a writer. So I'm going to post all these captions about my experiences. And so it started there. And
So today I wear my bald and surprisingly nice shaped head boldly. Boldly, proudly, and as a symbol of healing and all healing that's to come.
And then TikTok, I realized, was basically that, just more lighthearted versions. My first viral video was a trend that I didn't come up with. Basically, I'm talking about everything that
Moves to NYC makes us. Oh, snap. What? Moves to NYC, makes 6 figs at 23, lands dream job, meets love of life, finds perfect friend group. And we've all seen this. Oh, this,
is going awesome in my life. And then me upside
gets incurable cancer.
down, basically like they kicked my ass. and I talk about incurable cancer. I didn't know how to use the app. I didn't know how to edit. And here I was getting troll comments and followers from across the globe. And I just had no idea how it even happened.
Last night was one of the worst nights that I've had. I was just
I've realized that suffering in silence is really, really isolating. So sharing it is, for me, taking my power back a little bit. If you give
Right.
people the opportunity to show up for you, they mostly do.
Exactly.
And I get so
Like,
much more value
I
out
hate-
of people knowing
like,
and showing up for me.
I hate to say it, but like in a form, she's like kind of owning cancer, you know. And when you own something like that, just like if somebody's making fun of you for a certain reason or because of the way you look or the way you talk or whatever, right? If you own that, you know, humiliation or whatever, and it's very hard to do, and just, you know, say whatever, not necessarily say whatever, but if you own it, the faster you own your flaws, the easier it is to handle. Not that cancer is a flaw. In this situation, the flaw would be cancer, but I feel like she's doing a great job so far.
Than I would if I just kept it to myself, my core caregiver community. That's been those 3 areas, my mom and my dad.
Casey would be upset.
That's
with
her
me.
dad?
I didn't show you the belly.
Oh, I was about to say, what the?
We were officially dating for 8 months before she got diagnosed. It didn't feel unfamiliar, like as crazy as it actually was. I think I've just been in a lot of uncomfortable, high stakes situations my whole life, and it wasn't an unfamiliar feeling for me. For me, it was just
Yo, I hate to say it. Bruh, I hate to say it, but what if somehow he's tied into, like, you know, the life insurance with the mom and with the parents and with the family and like all the TikTok money and the views and views and views?
somebody was going to go through something that I needed to be there for.
Darius is really, really supportive of me on social media. He's supportive of all my endeavors. I can't even tell you how much that means, especially when I can sometimes divulge probably a little bit more information than most significant others might be comfortable with. Excuse me, sir. Have you ever been excited?
Yeah, I found out I was going to die one day.
I'm pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like probably 50% of myself every day, just because I've been on continuous treatment for 19 months now, and I don't feel good. It's hard to remember even how it ever felt to feel good.
You can see the pain in her eyes, bro. You wouldn't wish this on your worst enemy. You wouldn't. Nobody would. So, Napoon got Folgers with Splenda. We're at this place called Agora in DC. This woman is taking me out. Go ahead, baby. Do your thing, 21. Do your thing. Do your thing, 21. I've been drinking, clearly. So, I'm doing this like in public right now. My anxiety's gone, clearly. So, I mean, I'm normally filming and what? Private. You gotta look at this. You gotta look at this woman. The way she looks at me, it's crazy. She desires me. Can you even hear what I'm saying? Exactly. Is it good? Is it good? What is it? You said that's Folgers with Splenda, right? You said that's Folgers with Splenda.
Do not do it like that.
There's a lot of anxiety that comes with doctor's appointments, and it's more emotional than physical. It's not like there's anything like markedly different about my body that I'm scared would warrant progression in this appointment specifically, but it's the reality of running the risk of losing hope, and that to me is the hardest pill to swallow. So I've never been this enfeebled, to be honest, even when I was going through chemo. I probably looked worse because I was bald and didn't have eyebrows and eyelashes, but I don't think I've ever felt worse. I haven't been posting as much of my bad days, but I do try to sometimes be like, hey, today sucked, here's why. If I have a bad day, I can tell people I have a bad day and they'll make my bad day better. The community on TikTok is amazing. They're always checking up on how I'm feeling throughout the week. They always know when my next dose of my vaccine is, sometimes even before I realize it. It's just
That is
it's
a good
really,
thing about the
really
algorithm.
cool, attentive, intentional community that's been built, and
It will
they really,
push
really care
out,
about
you
me.
know,
And I can't tell you
people
what that means.
with mental
There's a fine line on TikTok.
disorders
It's
or
kind of hard to
mental
discern
disabilities,
between reality and oversharing.
mental
And I think I
health
toe the line.
issues,
And I guess that's
physical
probably why I'm more
health
hesitant to post
issues,
Darius carrying me
physical
downstairs and me feeling really
conditions,
weak and shitty.
all
I wonder
that type of stuff. It'll
Part of
push
me
it out.
withholds a little because I haven't necessarily, like, you know, I said earlier, this is the worst I think I've ever been.
You know, to spread. I think
actually
it's
communicated
done
that
to
my loved
spread
ones that aren't
awareness.
physically with me, so I don't feel great
You know?
about publishing it online. So I think I would, when I do post about it, I'll first text all my best friends and let them know, hey, I'm really, really struggling physically. And then
By
maybe
the way, don't ever put your legs like this, how she has them, up on the dashboard. Don't ever do that. It's the worst way to, I mean, in her situation, right? But it's the worst way to be unalived in a car accident. Like, trust me, I've seen like crash test dummies do it. It's bad.
Sure.
Patients?
Yep.
Alrighty.
Pushing for you?
My mom will, yeah. Great. Yeah.
You always have to be wheeled into a hospital. Well, you don't have to be wheeled into a hospital. I think you always have to be wheeled out of a hospital.
Which is
Actually.
the personalized immunotherapy. I'm the second patient to be getting a personalized vaccine exactly like this. So it means a lot for other cases moving forward because sarcomas typically are non-immunogenic. If this works for sarcoma, it should work for other sarcomas because it's targeted. So that's optimistic. How are they working, by the way?
Your cells?
Yeah.
They're doing fine. It becomes a cell line when it's immortalized and it can live forever.
It's basically the same cell over and over again. There's no changes to the cell's DNA.
So they take the cell and they just put it in a dish and then you're able to test agents against it. Yeah. Grateful to be a part of it.
Yeah,
Truly.
you were on the cutting edge.
Excited to see some results.
Yes, let's do that.
Squishy lymph nodes are a good sign.
Come on.
I usually sleep and chill. Sometimes I make TikToks. What's interesting is I started TikToking initially.
TikToking.
I mentioned as a coping mechanism to like feel less alone and hopefully help people. But why it started was people started trolling me, which is like really weird and kind of like kicking a puppy in the face if you're trolling a cancer patient. But they started doing that. And I don't know if they were bots. I don't know what they were. But what I started doing was responding to those trolls, trolling them. And not in like an angry, like upset way. But that's actually how my following was built. Every day of my
See,
life.
and that's what was I saying? If you're able to own your situation, own like either really just if you're able to own your situation, and your situation involves other people looking down on you or making fun of you or whatever, a lot of the time you won't be affected by those people making fun of you, those very same people, because you realize it's something that is out of your control, and the best way to deal with it is moving forward.
I wake up, check my phone, I check TikTok, and every day I wake up to
Okay, that's not the healthiest thing to do. Every day waking up, checking your phone and checking the app, that's not the best thing to do. But again, given her situation, I'm not going to tell her what to do.
Few neutrals telling me how ugly I am without my curls.
Sometimes somebody on TikTok will accuse me of faking my illness for clout, and I will say to them, do you think I would have chosen this very sexy, cool internet niche? Like really, if I was a fitness chick, I've been into fashion, I traveled the world for a year. Why would I not have chosen one of those really cool niches to have been my platform? I don't think I would have hand-selected rare cancer, but here we are.
So I think she's getting trolls because people are like, yo, yeah, there are people who are doing, you know, fashion and fitness and like whatever, traveling, you know, stuff like that, but those markets are very saturated, and the people who are on TikTok, like I was saying, people who have, you know, mental health issues, mental health disabilities, physical disabilities, special conditions, that type of content is pushed out more on TikTok, and it's for a good reason. Again, it's to spread awareness about the community. And unfortunately, in her case, these trolls, you know, they're everywhere, not just her, and she realizes that. But yeah, I guess to answer her question, they don't want to, you know, really, they'll troll you on the other content that you make, but because they can't, you know, do this, they can do travel, they can do fashion, they can do fitness, right? But this is something that, you know, is unique to you, and they want to ruin that because they can't do it if they tried.
It shows your bald head, your pale skin. How did you look fighting cancer?
And then I started getting trolled, and then the trolls started getting trolled by me, and then it kind of just swelled from there. I feel like we're making lemonade out of it.
There's 11 total, so I'm going to be hanging out with you for a minute here.
Oh my god. Ooh, for some koozies.
You have it? It's right. There you go. Yep.
Aromatherapy. Aromatherapy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, peppermint.
What is it?
Spearmint peppermint. Yeah, it's really good. The saline makes me
Is it
nauseous.
like
There are a lot of people who will follow me and ask me how much
What are
time I
those
have left, or
smelling
when I'm
salts?
going to die, or what my prognosis is, and I understand that they want to know. That's the burning question. That's on all of your minds. That's on all of my family's minds. That's on my mind all the time. I get
guys, yo, relax, dog. She's just trying to live her life, and I get it. Like, I don't know, maybe some people want to live vicariously through her, it just so that, or just have like, I don't know what type of closure they want, something, I don't know, but geez, that's very morbid, you know what I mean? Asking her, you know, oh my god.
it. Something the world needs to know is that cancer patients don't want to know that information. We do not ask our doctor for a death advent calendar like that.
Yeah, and who would do that, right? Like, when is, yo.
I don't want to know when I'm expected to die based on how much disease I have. That's something that gets under my skin, because it's like, I think those are real people. They're just not thinking it through.
Right.
So I try to give them grace, but I also got to call out their asses sometimes.
Seldom does anyone sit down with their oncologist and ask, hey buddy, how much time do you think I got left on this planet?
That's not how you communicate through grief, and that's definitely not supporting somebody going through something hard. That's you doing something for yourself to make yourself feel better about your own mortality.
What was I
Because
just
they're looking at
saying?
me saying,
See?
oh, whoa, Casey's so young, so healthy. Oh my gosh, she ate better than I did my whole life, and it still happened to her? So that's what they're doing at the end of the day. It's like, oh God, it could happen to me, so let me make sure that they did something wrong, or that their lifestyle was different, and as a result, it won't happen to me.
So the thing is that, make sure that you eat well, drink well, sleep well, don't lose weight.
Yup.
All right?
That's exactly
Literally
what
not
it
doing any
is.
of this. But okay.
Don't worry about it. Focus
Yep.
on the eat.
Couldn't have said it better.
With the feeling of the tumors. I hang on to any crumb. The biggest and only fuck you to pain is to live fully despite it. So if I'm letting cancer take my joy in my life, like, why do I want to chemically extend my life anyway? Surrendering sometimes is harder than continuing to fight. So
instead of saying we lost our battle to cancer, just say point blank on our obituary, we were murdered by cancer. And I love everything about that.
I'm comfortable talking about death. I think I spend the majority of my day thinking about it. So I have a lot of thoughts formed and I have a lot of ideas. I'm comfortable with it. I'm terrified of it. I'm not ready to die, not even close. But it's also a really, really real reality that I have to sit with every second of every day. And I'm reminded every breath I take, every step I take, I could feel it physically in my body. If I wasn't trying to process it, I would be doing a massive disservice to myself. I think what grounds me is reminding myself that if 8-year-olds are going through it, a 26-year-old can too.
She's absolutely right. She is absolutely right. And you want to know what else? The thing is, you can't control when that day comes. So even there are tons of people that are gonna leave here, Earth, so to speak, and you know, way before Katie, like tons of people before Katie, and tons of them don't have, you know, life-threatening cancer, the rare form of life-threatening cancer that she has, right? And so she's just living her life the way it's, you know, designed to be for her, the best way she can.
I turned 26 on June 5th, so we have some birthday cards. You were badass and deserve to be celebrated extravagantly. Jeez, this is so nice. You have an exquisite voice for which so many people hunger that fills a deep void. May you feel the love and support on the darkest of days to carry you through along with people and chill.
And my point in saying that was like, when people are asking her, like, you know, what date is it? Did you ask the doctor what date you're, you know, gonna be leaving and stuff like that? That's why I said that, because they're like, you wouldn't ask some random person, right? Well, I mean, I guess you are, but you wouldn't ask some random person on the street this. You only feel comfortable asking this person because you can, you know, write it to her, or like somebody else who's writing it to her, so that you don't have to feel guilty for actually writing it, you know?
It makes me sad and happy at the same time. It's a weird mix. It's like mourning, but joy.
What are you looking at?
Just the expectation of more time and being able to have more accomplishments and hit more milestones. It's really sad. I've been totally robbed. I've also lived a lot of fucking life in 26 years. And I guess I find comfort in knowing that, like, if my time is sooner rather than later, like, I've traveled almost 50 countries. I've
more than
lived
what
in
I've
different
done
states.
in
I've
longer
met my
time on
love.
this earth.
I've made best friends.
Right?
I have
More
the
than
cutest
me.
dog.
More than a lot of people.
I've succeeded professionally, personally, socially, and my relationship with my family is amazing. So I don't have any regrets. There's nothing I would change. And I think I'm in a place that's hopeful. And I think we have to hold on to hope, even if it's few and far between.
That's right.
That's really like the only thing that gets you through the tough days.
We gotta go. They want to do it today at 4.
What?
Just a portion piece. It's not a big deal. They said we'd like you there by 4, and that's, they just don't want you to go through the weekend without you.
There's a lot of fluid?
I think so.
Whoa.
Where are you going?
To the hospital. I'm going to the hospital to get fluid drained from my lung for the 3rd time in 4 weeks.
Okay. Right.
Yay. What a great ending note.
I hope that was her boyfriend. In the early hours of July 4th, 2022, Casey Altman was what? Oh, I was about to say, bro.
Legacy is what imprint you leave on the world, and it transcends
Casey,
long after you're dead.
man.
I'm not gonna cry. Like, this is what it's all about.
I think it's also like, what's your legacy? How did you make people feel? That's a lot of what I think about. Like, how do I want to be remembered for? I think I want to be remembered for how I made people feel. All trauma aside, I'm kind of the person that I always wanted to be. I couldn't even speak in front of like 5 people, like 2 years ago. I did it on a global stage a month ago. Like, that's so cool. And that's what like bullshit like this does to you. I think if you let it, it's been
She's
like
achieved
a
so
beautiful
much.
experience.
I think the difference of post-diagnosis and her discovering her voice literally was magnified by her diagnosis, but then honed because of this forum that she found in social media.
I just think so much of life is what you create of it, and leveraging these different communities to share my story have opened a world of opportunity, but also just comfort in knowing that I'm not the only one walking through this, and there's so many people standing tall with me in solidarity. I can't imagine that could do any harm for my healing. Whether I'm here or not, the fruits of my labor are still going to be on a continuum. That's really, really heartening to me because I know that I'm a part of something bigger than myself. This isn't just for myself. It never has been.
Was that a...
That's really, really heartening to me because I know that I'm a part of...
Yo, tell me this doesn't look like Gengar or Haunter. Tell me this doesn't look like a Lavender Town Pokemon right here.
Something bigger than myself. This isn't just for myself. It never has been. It would be phenomenal if like my life could be extended or saved as a result of it. But if not, I don't want it to stop here. I want it to just be the beginning.
Do you want to name your own cell line?
Yeah.
What do you want to name it?
Willow. Willow.
gonna name it
Willow.
after a dog?
Yeah, that's my dog, Willow.
The fact that somebody could be using my cell line in years to come, it's a really cool feeling. It's it doesn't make it all worthwhile, obviously, but it does make it feel like you're part of something bigger than yourself. And I think all of us crave to be a part of that. It's purpose. This one's nice. It says, I know it's been so hard, but I love that you bring humor and kindness to everything. We can all see that you love life and you deserve so much more than this illness, Casey. We're glad you have people who love you so much.
I find a bizarre degree of solace in knowing that if God forbid this whole, cancer thing takes me out, my loved ones will have a treasure trove of videos to remember me by because of this app. Not only will that keep my legacy alive, but I will be remembered for my most clever moments.
And you know what? I think that's why a lot of people in this type of community kind of share their story like this and on such a public platform. It's because they do want to keep their legacy alive long after they're gone. And that is very, very, very unselfish. Casey Altman, gone but not forgotten.